Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Loan Officer Playbook Podcast. Today, I'm joined with Erin Barrows. Erin is a producing branch manager at Canopy Mortgage who's been working in the mortgage business for 16 years. Erin is super passionate about origination, and I am really excited to have her on the podcast today. Welcome, Erin.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
Amazing. So, one of the things that attracted me to your background is just how passionate you are about origination. You're a branch manager, but you still find time to do loans. And then you set aside time block days. You have a whole day where you reach out to your past clients. Why are you so passionate about originating loans?
Being able to do mortgage loans for me is just it's something that just comes naturally, and I'm passionate about it because everybody needs a place to live. Everybody needs a home, right? So, and I really think that it's one of the greatest opportunities we have in America to live the American dream and grow equity to build wealth through real estate. It is always going to be one of the safest investments that you can make to generate wealth. And so I'm very passionate about helping people get into homes, whether it's first-time home buyers or investors that are building up their portfolio. Um, there's just something so rewarding about the opportunity to help people, especially if I have people that have been turned down by other banks, and I'm able to figure out, oh, well, what if we just look at it this way? Then it works, right? And I'm able to help them, and so there's a lot of personal reward I get out of it. And then I think that it's a great service to the community, to be able to help people buy homes.
Amazing. So, you mentioned that you're really good at looking at scenarios from different angles. And I mean, that only comes naturally from being in the business for like 16 years and then seeing multiple scenarios so you can look at it from different angles.
Right. Yeah.
Uh, do you think that for new loan officers, how can they be able to apply, let's say, take your thinking that you've, gained over 16 years? How do you transfer that knowledge over to your loan officers?
How do I transfer the knowledge to my loan officers? I stay in the game. I continue to originate. So when they do come across a problem, I'm able to say, oh, I just had that same request from an underwriter 2 months ago. Here's what I provided for that type of example. And then I just kind of help plug them into different resources that I have followed throughout the years as well to gain knowledge and encourage them to be active in different Facebook groups and to collaborate and brainstorm with other people in the industry, because we all have different thought processes and problem solving skills, right? So definitely collaborating with people and just sharing with them as much knowledge as I can give them um, when they ask. There's so much that goes into this business that I don't want to just bombard people, right, with all this information. So I kind of take it as a how can I help you today kind of
Yeah,
situation.
yeah. Being in the weeds of things, like being in the trenches with the loan officers that originate, it's so underrated. Like a lot of, excuse me, a lot of producing branch managers just decide to focus on operations and less on originating. But you try to strike a balance between operating the branch, but also originating loans and helping borrowers. And that's how you not only stay ahead of the competition, but you also help your loan officers learn and you help upskill them.
Yeah. Definitely true.
Yeah. Um, we were talking earlier just before we started the recording, and then you said you have a whole day that you set aside to reach out to your past clients. How long have you been doing that?
It's something that I do. Gosh, I since maybe 2011, I've kind of implemented that. Consistency is the key, and like all loan officers, we struggle with that, right? So there are times where I don't make that day of it, but because other things might come up. Maybe there's a client that wants to meet with me or a real estate agent that wants to meet with me, but I try to be consistent on doing that. I learned from the mortgage marketing animals, actually. They have a great platform that helps loan officers figure out how to structure your days, how to be the most productive with your time and focusing on your income generating activities, your business generating activities, and leaving the rest of the stuff to somebody else. So I look at it, if something's not going to be generating business, I can probably delegate that to somebody else to take care of.
Yeah. And that's something that you think other branches are not doing most of, like reaching out to their past clients. They're losing a lot of business by not doing that.
Yes, that is something that we find as a common theme in our industry. And it's not just loan officers, ironically enough, it's also real estate agents. Um, staying in front of your past contacts is very important. And like I said, consistency is the key to it, right? So you can reach out to past contacts, but if you're only reaching out to a few of them very sporadically and there's no consistency there, then it doesn't generate as much business. But I think that everybody in the industry, whether you're a real estate agent or a mortgage lender, should really focus on your book of business, your past database right now. Especially going into 2025, I think it's going to be immensely important. If not, you're leaving money on the table for sure.
What would you think of as other strategies that you're implementing in your business in addition to reaching out to past clients that have made you be successful?
One of the things that I have been implementing that I have found to be successful so far has been, I have a new form that goes out to clients when they first fill out an application, and it's an all about you form. And it allows me to get to know a lot more about them. For example, I had a guy, I won't say any names, but I found out he has 2 dogs and a cat named Hank. How else would I have known that if I didn't fill out the form? But my point being is that on the form, it also asks if they have financial planners. Do they have a CPA? Do they have an attorney? Do they have, a whole host of different things? And that form is allowing me to then go out and build my network. Because if they rank that financial planner, for example, as high, right? How likely would you be to refer them? Then I can reach out to that financial planner and say, hey, we've got a mutual client. They spoke really highly of you. I'd love to sit down and meet with you and see if we can collaborate together. So targeting other avenues, most loan officers focus solely on real estate agents. There's financial planners, tax people, divorce attorneys. Start building their sphere with those other types of industries, because they have opportunities to refer. They all know people. Everybody knows people and everybody needs a house.
Yeah. The when people say referral partners, like every time someone says referral partners, the first thing that comes to my mind is real estate agents and builders. But no one has, ever really mentioned financial planners in these interviews that I've been doing. And that's really brilliant. Um, how did you come up with or think around all of these different avenues for getting referral partners? Because not everyone has a financial planner. I would think of that maybe like a
I came up with the idea, honestly, not on my own. Same thing I would tell my loan officers is to collaborate. Find the people that are killing it. Find the people that are doing well in the business and figure out what they're doing. And then you don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? To be successful. Just figure out what's working by talking to other people in the business. I follow all kinds of different groups and podcasts, and I pick up all the information I can and implement it where I think it would be reasonable to implement. So that was where I got the idea, was just collaborating from other loan officers.
Okay, that sounds good. Um, you have mentioned like one or two resources like mortgage marketing animals. Like I would love to include those links in the show notes. So for producing branch managers that are watching, maybe they could get some ideas from there, just trying to help people upskill.
Yeah. Yeah, I can certainly shoot you over the links for the mortgage marketing animals. They also have Facebook groups and Instagram. Carl White is who heads up the mortgage marketing animals, and I can't say enough good stuff about them. They're just great people. It's a great group of loan officers. One thing I find a lot of loan officers struggle with, especially when it comes to like contacting the past database, is this thing that I think a lot of salespeople struggle with, and that's call reluctance, fear of picking up the phone. The phone feels so heavy when you've got to pick up and prospect. Um, the mortgage marketing animals actually has what's called call stars. And I'm not currently in it, but I would encourage anybody new in the business to join the mortgage marketing animals, follow the plan, and do the call stars, because what they do is you get on a Zoom meeting and you'll talk for the first 5 minutes about what the goal is today, what the theme is for the day, whether it's past clients, pre-approved and looking borrowers, real estate agents, financial planners, whatever your goal is for that day. And then everybody mutes themselves and you just all make calls together for 2 hours. And then you share your wins together, but you're working with a massive network of loan officers from across the country who are all doing the same thing you're doing. And that's feeling the fear and doing it anyways, picking up the phone.
Yeah. That's so brilliant. One of my mentors, Dave Savage, had this thing recently where he did 100 calls in one day. So it was a challenge to see if he can talk to 100 conversations in one day. I just found that to be very, very interesting because like that's a lot of people that you're talking to in one day. 100 people in one
Yeah,
day. Yeah.
that is a lot of people.
Yeah. And
I would be tired by the end of the day, but that's,
oh yeah, for sure. My social battery will just run out by call 60.
yeah.
I think someone else tried it and then they got to 80 calls. And then Dave, who's very obsessive, and when he puts his mind to something, he would want to do it. He's like, I'm going to do 100. And then he finally achieved it. And, I just like these things in the mortgage business where someone comes up with these arbitrary goals, like, oh, have 100 calls in one day. It's very simple, but it really helps. And technology also facilitates that. And I want to take the conversation a little bit to technology because we have only a couple minutes left. But what tech products or what are some of the technologies that you're using to like help you, process loans faster as you try to focus on originating loans?
Sure. Um, AI.
AI?
I've
Yeah,
definitely grabbed a hold of AI.
yeah,
I think if you're not using AI in your business, then you're going to be replaced very quickly. I think AI is never going to take away as a loan officer personally, but it does empower us with a massive tool set of technology to help us generate more business, automate processes, automate follow-ups, automate tasks, all of that stuff. So AI has been a big thing that I have implemented over the last year to help me.
yeah. Which specific areas have you implemented AI for the, listeners that are watching that want to implement AI? How could they learn from you?
What I have found is there's a couple of different types of the LOAI CRM, which is also part of the mortgage marketing animals, is all built with AI. So they have bots and stuff that can help you from everything from scheduling clients, reaching out to people for you, pre-qualifying borrowers, putting them on your calendar. You can have bots generate, presentations, and you can have bots do, I mean, the list of things is endless, right? Anything that a loan officer would sit down and manually generating social media, generating images and video scripts. And I mean, everything you can think of, you can use AI to help you in your business. And I think all loan officers should really, really be looking at how they can best use that, because everybody's business is a little bit different and every loan officer does it differently.
Yeah. Well, you're one of the exceptions because, the average age of a loan officer, as you know, is in their 50s.
Yeah.
And they're not, the most techy people, if you will. Some people are still trying to catch up on how to use a CRM. And then now you
Yes.
bring AI, and they're like, oh, well, I haven't even learned how to use a CRM yet. Now you want me to learn AI? Like, how have you or how would you help people like that into transitioning or staying abreast with new technology?
I would encourage them to find local, there's probably tons and tons of different training classes through different lenders in your area or title companies that put on classes that help teach you different tools, technology tools that'll go through social media, AI options, CRMs, all that stuff. They're welcome to reach out to me. I'm always happy to help get someone started in the right direction and answer any questions that they have. Um, and then the last suggestion I would say would be if you're an older loan officer and you have the ability, hire a younger assistant. My loan officer assistant is a certified master loan processor, but she's 19. She gets Instagram, she gets the TikTok, she gets all that stuff. So that type of stuff, that's all her. She's like, Mom, we're going to record. Okay, she handles all that for me. So if you have the ability to delegate that kind of stuff to a younger generation that really gets the technology so that you can just focus on getting loans.
I think that's a brilliant point because there's so much to learn, and then there's a generational gap. Like even Gen Z now, there's new like Gen Alpha, and then they have to catch up with that. So by bringing in the younger generation into the lending business, I think that's a very brilliant point, and I think other producing branch managers should be doing the same. Erin, thank you so much for coming on. A lot of interesting insights for our listeners. What would be the best way for them to reach out to you?
And they can follow me on social media. My Instagram handle is at your.homeloanexpert. I'm also on Facebook, and they can Google me. I'm on Google. I'm hopefully everywhere. But I'm on all the social media,
Yeah.
and then my Google. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much for coming on, Erin. Hey, everybody. This has been another episode of the Loan Officer Playbook Podcast. I think this is the episode that really pulled back the curtain on how do you learn? How do you get into these training environments? How do you learn new technology? And how do you bring in new blood into the mortgage industry that's a different generation that probably understands technology a little bit more than you to help you get ahead? Also, in terms of how do you reach out to past clients, get referrals. Erin had some interesting ways to build referral partners. So kudos if you made it this far. This has been another episode of the Loan Officer Playbook Podcast, and I'll see you in the next one.